Okay guys, we're back. Now that case tumbler's been running for a couple of hours and it's got our brass all nice and clean. And now one good thing I like about the Hornady case tumbler is you don't really need a media separator with it. It comes with a little lid like this, which allows you basically to turn under the main body of the tumbler itself. You just fit this lid on and then you can just tip it upside down inside a bucket, and it will separate your media from your tumbler, and then basically just pour that back into the media back into your tumbler, and you're left with all your shiny brass. So now once you've got that brass, now's the time as you go to resize, whether it be neck size or full length resizing. Now's the time to check your brass for cracks. You know, any places that look at start to thin where it's starting to come apart, or it may look like it's going to fail. If you do come across something like that, don't chance it. Throw it aside. A 50-cent piece of brass is not worth messing up your rifle. So anyway, once we're at this point, what I tend to do from here, my first two loads with first fired brass are just neck sized sizing. I don't go to full length resizing for the first two, purely because I like my tolerances a little bit tight for my long range precision shooting. But the only thing with that, because we're running more on the hotter side of things with the loads, after about the second reload, you'll start to run into problems where you'll have some issues chambering your brass in your rifle, and because of the way we load and the tolerances and the clearances we keep, on the third time around, you really need to full length resize it to bring it back to factory specs, so that you can, the next two loads from that are going to be good to go again, just with simple neck sizing. So you might be able to pick up on that bit of brass there. I don't know how well you pick it up, but you'll see some little ring marks where the chamber is just starting to chat out of that brass because of how close the tolerances are being fire formed to my chamber. So third time round, I full length resize. But I'm just using the Hornady, as I said before in the intro, the lock and load single stage press with my Lee full length resizing die. And for you guys that haven't set a full length resizing die before, or looking to get into reloading, the way to do that is to bring the arm down until the shell holder is touching the top of the resizing die. And once you've got that touching, you wind it down until it touches. Great part about the lock and load is basically they've got these little fit in sections where I actually screw my die down into it, and to change over, it's as quick as just unlocking it, lifting it, and dropping the next die in and locking it, and it saves the time of unwinding it and resetting it and whatnot, all your different dies and every time around. So saves a bit of time. But anyway, once you've done that and you've brought it up and it's touching, you then want to turn and drop the bar back down again, and then you just want to turn your die in a quarter of a turn and then lock it, and that's it set. You don't have to mess about with it anymore after that. That's now perfect. So the other way to check and make sure that it is spot on right is once you put a case in. Now these cases I've already resized, but I'm just going to do it for purposes just to show you guys anyway. But once you put your case in, you can then bring it up and just check. Once that's all the way, the primer's out, just double check, make sure you've got no daylight between the shell holder and the bottom of the die. Once you've done that, you're sweet, you're home sweet. So anyway, we'll pull that one out. Must be a bit of a stubborn one, that one. I should have put some more lube on that, but anyway. But normally what I'll do, guys, is I'll start off and I'll put fill up the two trays. So I'll do 100 at a time, and then I'll use the Hornady one shot, case lube. I'm not real fussed on the lube pads, and rolling around, just getting all over your fingers. It's just a lot quicker and easier that way too. It's just to put them on, spray, and you can really get down in the top where you really need to. It saves you getting a Q-tip or a cotton wool bud, and dipping that in lube and lubing each individual one as well. So it just saves a bit of time. It might be $18 odd, $20 odd a can, but I mean, I've probably done with that one can over 1,000 rounds of reloading already. So I mean, it's quite inexpensive, and considering the time it saves. So that's what I use. But then once you've done that, and you've knocked all the primers out, you've resized them all, you then want to I like to have some containers pretty much set out ready for what I want. That way, if I go through and I decide that one day I'm going to do one full step, and that being resizing, then I'll go through and I'll resize the lot. I can put them in that container which is labelled resized brass, so I know it's been deprimed, it's been resized, and it's ready to turn and go on to trimming. So basically what I'll do then is, once I've got that put aside, I'll then come over to my trimmer, which I'll just move the camera around. I'll then move over to my trimmer, and then from there, basically my trimmer's already set, and the way I set my trimmer is it's quite simple. I mean, it's take a case when you first start off, I fit it in, and basically just keep trimming little bit by little bit until you get down to the case trim length that you want. Now I trim every reload. I trim back to minimum length, which for 308 is 2.005 thousandths of an inch. So I'll set my dial calipers, zero them, and I'll basically go through until I've got that length that I want. Once I've got that length that I want, the great part with the Lyman trimmer is it's got a couple of Allen keys, like most of them. They've got Allen keys, so you can lock it down, and it's now preset, ready to go. So basically I'll lock it in, and I'll trim up all my cases. And you'll hear the difference when the trimmer stops cutting. So as you can tell, that one needed a fair bit of trimming. Okay, you can tell the difference now. The trimmer stopped cutting, so we can pull that one out, and then we can now double check that with our calipers. And we can now see that is exactly on 2.005 thousandths of an inch. So that's the minimum case length, and I do that with all of them, just just to be consistent. And usually, especially if I'm working up some hand loads, I'll then go on from there. Once I've done this procedure, it'll then go into my deburring and primer pocket cleaning tub. So I might one afternoon just go ahead and do case trim, maybe 200-300 rounds, and I'll fill up a couple of these containers with those ready to go. The next day I might decide that I'll do all my deburring, primer pocket cleaning, and all my internal case cleaning, which leads me on to the next part of the video, which I'll just reset up again for, and we'll get on to the next part. So alright guys, we'll be back in a minute. I'll just set up my my next lot of gear, and we'll get back onto the next process. So alright guys, we'll catch you in a minute.